Gotta make sure you're all on there. Next, we have 4 billing adjustments. 0 for gas credits, gas meter credit adjustment for reservation. We've got $111.40 for previously approved water sewer leak. $97.09 1 meter adjustments for 5/1/26 billing, and we got gas meter misread for 4/11/26 billing, $561.51.
All the paperwork's in for all that. I'll make a motion to accept the 4 billing adjustments.
1 second.
All in favor? Thank you. Next, we have a resolution. 2026-05-01, adopt allowable clauses for approved policies for federal audits. So,
That was what we got started on at the last audit. So we had to go.
what's that one? Okay. Back to the resolution.
Kathy, what time is it required to do this? Right?
What's that?
Resolution. Yes.
Very required.
I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance, the resolution 2026-05-01. Not ordinance, it's a resolution.
1 second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Thank you.
Here's the original business one.
Yeah. Okay, for the next one is the wastewater treatment plant improvement project. Sewer ban withdrawal, the request of HWC for invoice number 8, $42,750. Invoice 9, $44,050. Invoice 10, $54,700. Invoice 11, $62,400. For a total of $203,000. $3,900.
Who's the WWT improvement project?
I'll second.
Yeah.
I'm in favor.
Aye.
Now we got HWC proposal for the let's see, 2007 paving. Completion of the asset management plan and the ADA compliance for 3 years. And a total of $42,900.
And that ADA is spread out over 3 years. And
Thank you.
did we not meet the deadline for this year,
It's not till July, I think.
July? So they can't, yeah, they wouldn't be able to get all this ready for that.
Well, this is for 27 now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'll get clarification tomorrow, but
Yeah,
it's just for 27.
he was supposed to reach out to me when he was ready
He's
for a
closer.
list of what
Thank
we
you.
wanted done. He hasn't reached out.
Okay. Oh, allergies.
I'll make a motion, we approve HWC's proposal for $42,900.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I could do the 23rd, but I live on a good team. I could.
It's not possible.
Sorry.
Imagine you going out to.
Actually, the 23rd works better.
Application. This year. And we can next. Yeah.
Okay. Move the meeting from June 18th to the 23rd or 24th.
If we could, we have several conflicts for that week. If not possible, then
23rd works.
23rd.
23rd works for me because I wouldn't be here the 18th.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay.
Works better.
We can move to the
it make me
23rd.
feel better because I can't make it. Is
So,
that good with you? I already asked you, didn't I?
yeah,
23rd,
23rd
6
works best.
o'clock.
6 o'clock. Thank you.
And after the meeting, Kathy's got a card for Pat Callahan retirement. He's done a lot of work for us over the years.
A lot of work. I'm on this one.
Yeah.
I'll stop by.
Is he old enough to do that?
He's retiring after 45 years of service, so
I started.
he tried to retire once.
Started young, yeah.
already.
Yeah,
Right out of school.
yeah, his second shot at it. Yeah, you'll be missed. There you go. Okay. Bruce,
I had a few pumps that are down at the plant. I asked Sarah to order 4 of them. They'll be in May 26th, so we'll get those put in when they're done. And we're on the list for ammonia tank cleaning. I haven't heard anything back from him as far as when he can get to it, but we're on the list, so.
I only got that letter to go to him. I have nothing. Hey,
I know, it's a struggle, I know.
I put it in there and it wouldn't take. I think the trouble's on their end
I do too.
because I got frustrated. I just cut, pasted and went right through. You know.
Yeah,
That don't make sense.
I agree. Yeah, I always have trouble sending them too. That's all I got.
Okay, thanks.
I think the board training went well. Dana appreciated, together with you guys. We're gonna go ahead and issue certificates for that. Artie's been informed that you guys went through the board training. So that's what we just want to check off on that. If anybody wants, I think you weren't there. So what we could do is we could send you, it's like a pamphlet on board, on board issues and stuff like that.
Okay.
So if anybody else wants that, we can send multiple copies of those. So we had three members from this board, and then we had 3 members from, well, we had the clerk treasurer and 2 members from the other board. So it went well. I think a lot of good questions and stuff like that. So I make Artie happy.
That's the main thing. Huh?
They weren't as concerned about you as they were about somebody else. But other than that, I don't know, John, have you heard any, or anybody heard any changes on lead service line inventory for 27?
No,
But I don't know if it's a rumor or what's going on, but they're wanting to check the corpse, which is going to cause you to bore. They're usually buried, all the corpses are buried. Corporation stops. Now that's just, I just heard that and I haven't gotten any kind of assurance that
I
that's,
heard that, but
yeah, well,
I
that
wouldn't be
goes-
surprised.
well, I wouldn't worry about it because who knows what kind of changes are gonna happen before that's required, so. It's just, I think it's a waste.
Is it by January 1 of 27 or the end of?
I think it's about the same time as this, that's the last one was due the same. Was
Like
October?
October-ish or
Yeah,
something,
October.
27.
Sneaks up on you if you.
Yes, I'm not,
But what I keep hearing is don't worry about it, don't worry about it, don't worry about it.
there's a lot of things that, there's a lot of things you have to worry about. And it wouldn't be,
Okay.
because even if you go ahead and put the final out, and then you have lead service lines, then you have to wait for funding availability. This situation with the corpse, I'm not sure how that's gonna work out because the lines that going to the house, those are owned by the homeowner. There's funding available for that. I'm not too sure if they have to go out to the corpse and remove lead goosenecks or whatever. If that's gonna be the responsibility of the town to do that. And if the feds are gonna provide any money for you guys to be able to do that. Otherwise, it's gonna be a cost to the utility. So, I hadn't heard that before. I mean, the interest was on the lead service lines, and then all of a sudden, this comes up about the corpse. And I worked in a town much larger than yours, and if they had to check all their corpses, it'd be a ton of money to bore down to see what's coming off the corpse, off the corporation stuff. There's a lot of times in the older systems they put lead goosenecks on those because of the flexibility, and then they would have to be removed, even though they're not causing an issue, as long as the coating on it stays and there's no pH changes. So it's really tough there's all kinds of stuff going on in EPA right now. I'm not really sure, what's true and what's not true anymore. So, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's a kind of a wait and see deal. But if we do hear something, I'm sure you'll know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Got a couple things, just a brief update on water plant. They ordered the new detention tank. It is scheduled for delivery June 29th. They are removing the other one or have removed it. I haven't been up there yet, but they're supposed to be. I didn't figure they had, they're gonna wait till the very end, but,
I just drove by there.
so they're making as much progress as they can until then. They are scheduled for completion in August, so ahead of our compliance schedule, but barely. So we'll keep pushing them. In the meantime, I have pay application number 13 for MSI Construction, the amount of $200,789.90. See there.
There's still activity going on.
Yep, they're doing some, they're gonna do some concrete pour on, I've said Monday, but they're not gonna do it Monday, well, Tuesday. But they're gonna do a concrete pour for the rest of the drive. As it goes back around, they're gonna do as much as they can in preparation for that. They got some stuff they gotta remove. They gotta pressure test some lines out there that we need to make sure they didn't get damaged and things like that, but they're gonna keep chugging along up there as much as they can in preparation for the June 29th date.
And I don't know if Tony talked to you, but he said that they're gonna get that tank set and not worry about insulation or anything like that.
Correct. We're not too worried about temperature. It'll get a little hot. But a little hot is better than too cold going through the RO. Not a lot hot, but just a little hot is fine. So let them start doing startup. But as soon as they get set, they need to schedule their insulators, but they can do all their testing and stuff without it insulated. So,
Making sure we're on the same.
yep, they can, we did give them the okay to, it's gonna sweat a little bit probably in the summertime, but they just have to wait until the humidity drops a little before they can insulate it. So we don't trap any moisture, but yes, our marketing staff has started preparations for our ribbon cutting. We were making pretty good progress and then the tank inverted. But our marketing staff's gonna prepare an email invitation to whoever you guys want to send it to. And then we'll provide a podium and maybe a tent and the ribbon, the big scissors, and we'll have some stuff there for just to get everybody there and cut the ribbon and turn some water out. We'll be turning water out before we do it, but just to make sure we don't have any issues. But yeah, we've started planning something as we get a date, we won't pick a date, but we'll get some times narrowed down and then we'll get with you guys again about selecting a hard date that we can send out here. I would say at the next meeting, we might have time to discuss dates and things.
You can provide them all with a bottle of water.
Open bar like they had.
Oh,
Yes, we'll do it tomorrow.
I think they had an open house last week at their new office. So they had a
Wow, let's do it.
I'll make a motion to do pay application number 13,
Second.
if we get the bar.
All in favor?
I just need two of them signed. That I have proposed change order number 5 for MSI. It's in the amount of $23,238.00. First page is the summary, and then I believe the second and third pages give the breakdown of where that came from. We'll have to share here. I didn't probably not sure. So the biggest item of that 23,000 is the testing equipment that we ordered or had MSI order for the lab. It's $15,530. It does nitrates, chlorine, TDS, pH, salinity, conductivity, all right there in the facility. So we don't have to send out we'll have all the fancy on the wall samplers, but we can't if you have that, you have to have something to check it against. So we have to have, you could either send out the testing. The problem really we ran into is sending out the quarterly tests aren't that big a deal. But during startup, we'll have to test nitrates with every batch of water that goes out. And we don't want to wait for a day until we get the test back from Pace and Farmersburg or Danville or something like that. It add up pretty quick by the time we start paying delivery fees and things like that. So some pretty nice equipment. It's very easy to use. Gary, the operator, Brad's been up there to take a look at it. It's put the little sample in the vial. The vial goes in the machine. You press it, you scan it. It would recognize exactly what you're trying to test for. So if you're testing for pH, you don't have to type anything in. It reads pH, tests it. So try to make it as user friendly and easy, mistake free as possible. So it is a lot of money, but I think it makes all the you guys' lives easier. The less you guys have to worry about it, the better. And anybody can learn it. I mean, it's super simple to operate if we need to.
Can you go out the system and grab the sample and bring it back?
Yep, absolutely.
Check for nitrates?
Yep, absolutely.
That's great.
Yep. The second part of that was $2,007 for grounding of the RO and CIP skid. Manufacturer requires those to be grounded. Our plans didn't show them being grounded. Manufacturer won't do startup without them grounded. We really don't have an option. It's got to be grounded. So that was a price pretty reasonable to install conduit and grounding wire from there to the main distribution panel. Third item was $1,051 for air scour blower breaker. The breaker was too small. The startup draw on the blower itself kicked the breaker every time. So we had to swap it out. So 1,051. And then in the chemical room for what chemical was it? The stabilization chemical comes in bags. It's a powder chemical. It needs to be mixed with water. We had planned on just using the sink across the room and having a hose. It's a trip hazard. It's messy. It's going to cause issues. So we had Freytag install a water line over right directly next to it, hose bib, and then just a short little piece of hose to fill up the tank. It'll be less messy. Probably should have just planned on that from the beginning, but $4,650 for that. Sorry, John.
You're all right. I read your email.
So,
I didn't see anything to concern yet.
so maybe questions on that, because that is all extra stuff, and we have contingency funds, ample contingency funds that cover that.
I'll make a motion to accept the change order number 5.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Okay.
I just need to sign this.
2 copies, please. Yeah, just on the first page. Moving on to wastewater. We're still working through designs of the little process. I know Bruce doesn't want to do that, but it's closing on through it and making sure we
Keep
got
waiting for
everything,
equipment to show up down there every day.
getting everything lined up. There's just a lot going on. We're trying to keep the site as small as we can. The bigger the site gets, more cost for fill and all the other piping and everything. So we're trying to do what we can to get it on site. So still working through that, but in the meantime, I do have the application for the wastewater treatment facility permit. We're still adding some details to it, but we plan on getting it submitted here the first week of June rather than wait until your next meeting. Have you go ahead and sign it. It gives permission to submit the application, doesn't lock you into building anything, doesn't lock you into anything at this point, just says item, please review or start the review process. It is a fairly lengthy process, which is why we want to get it submitted now. We can always pull that. If something happens, we can always pull the permit. Doesn't lock you into anything other than following the rules.
On the funding side of that, was that SRF on that?
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, USDA-RD, their grant funding has been decreased from about 18 million to 4 million.
All right.
So bad news if you wanted to use USDA. I think SRF is okay right now.
No, we don't even want to talk to USDA.
But we have to.
Yeah.
We have to for
Only
one
to
reason.
coordinate the existing bonds that we have. And so
Yes.
I actually talked to our bond lawyer last week, and we're gonna try and set up a meeting sometime, probably before your next meeting, with Dustin and Cindy, Jim Higgins, who great stuff.
Yeah,
And
that's, ask you the rate guy.
and just talk about where we're at, where, the concern that bond council raised was it's gonna take a while. RD's not staffed the same way it used to be.
Correct.
And so getting answers to questions, we probably ought to start talking to them sooner rather than later.
Yep.
So I was gonna mention that, but since it came up in this conversation.
This Jim Higgins is.
We have a motion to
LP,
approve these
CPWD.
application signatures.
They did the water stuff.
Oh,
They
yeah,
helped
that's,
with
they help Pat, that's who, okay, that's what
Fine,
they.
the
And the band.
application for permits.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's why it's not familiar.
So you have two signatures, that one's on the first page and then close to the last page of the sign.
And that's the permit to be able to apply.
This is the application for the permit.
The
For the
application for
wastewater.
the permit. Okay.
All right.
Anybody have any questions regarding that?
Bruce said hurry.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
We'll start taking my hand.
Yeah, I think getting the funding is pretty important before they change.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so.
Diana,
Again, we held our 19th annual 5K run last Saturday in the rain with a record 120 participants. And it was a good day. Our next event will be July the 4th at 11 o'clock, which will be the Veterans Memorial service at the Veterans Memorial. Everybody's welcome to attend. Right now, the items on our to-do list are the riprap on the bank at the boat dock. And I know the guys are looking to do that as soon as we can get the river level at the right level. We are looking to get new estimates for the basketball court for the replacement. And we've just been waiting on the right time for that. And we have a metal sign to fix down at the boat dock that the wind just blew it right off the post. It wasn't destructive. It was just Mother Nature. We need to get estimates on the guttering at the Montezuma Pavilion at Aztec Park and fix the posts. And we have an estimate from an Amish guy, but it seemed pretty exorbitant. So we're going to be looking for some other estimates there. We're still working on the historical information signs and trying to gather historical information for the signs along the townwide trail. And so we're continuing that. John had asked me to contact Chris Clark about the camera at the boat dock. And there was some work that needed to be done here. So I got a hold of him. He called me back, and the 2 cameras have been installed at the boat dock, and it's a great picture. You just about can see the whites of someone's eyes down there if somebody holds something. But there's an invoice for $1,946 for the 2 cameras. And you can see the boat ramp, you can see the boat dock, you can even see the little shelter there at the South End Park, which is really good. You can see the soccer field, and so that'll help John a lot in case we have some pranksters down there. And so the invoice is for $1,946. I couldn't remember for the life of me when Kathy emailed the invoice to me. if it was to come out of the park board donation fund, if the town was paying for it, I could not remember. Or if it was to come out of our grant. I'm not even certain we have enough grant money left from the boat dock to pay for that. And so I don't know if any of you remember. Do you recall what we decided or what was decided?
So it's on the camera system at the vac station. That's where it's tied to.
Type 2.
I could not remember. I know I remember bringing it to you, but from there, it's anybody's guess.
Yeah, that's the hard drive it goes to.
So I just need to know what you want me to ask of the park board and if we need to pay this. And then is there a fee every year to, like a maintenance
Yeah,
fee?
that's why we didn't sign the maintenance thing, because he said that would cost more in the long run.
Okay,
And when he was in the area or had to come here for some reason, he'd check everything. Isn't that what he said? And we'd just be billed.
That time lapse between the time we approved that purchase and now, it's pretty extended.
Well, but he explained the weather got bad. That was November. So I think he gave it to you in October. It was November. And then the holidays.
We talked
And the
about
weather.
funding though, when we made that
Oh.
approval, and I don't know.
I don't know.
see, I can't remember either, John. I don't know. Well,
October, you think?
I think we'll be okay.
There is money in your park fund, but
Yes.
I need to decide how much of that you want to go towards that. There's 2,000 in the equipment fund. You want 1,000 of it to go, or
Well, you're gonna get use out of it. I mean,
The camera at the railroad bridge just recently worked on some damage that was done to the information sign there. And we're gonna have the young man do some community service. But they're well worth the money. And either way, we'll do whatever needs done.
January. You could get that. General park sewer.
you just divide it 3 ways and build it. You just divide it up 3 ways, everybody gets a piece of pie.
Okay.
Sewer, general, and park sewer.
Need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, divide it 3 ways between the general sewer and the park.
Bless you. Thank you.
Second.
Appreciate it.
Sean.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. The other thing I need to tell you is that Cindy received a grant from my board to, that was to get the little cover for the toddler equipment, like the old woman in the shoe. And because it's right out in the sun, so she's got a cover ordered and it should be here anytime. And part of that funding is coming from the Road Hogs did a fundraiser for us last fall, I think it was. And so part of that money will be used, and then part of the money is from my board. So that was $3,500. So that should be coming pretty quickly. And then I just signed an agreement for the kiosk at the boat ramp for the life jackets and the kayaks. And so we're gonna see
So we
about
got
it.
funding for that.
Pardon me?
We'll get funding for that.
We will get, it'll be totally
Oh,
paid.
wow.
Yes,
Through grant.
yes.
Wow.
It's through the Wabash River Blue Way.
Right.
I think the kayak kiosk was 45,000 and the life jacket was 5,000, if I remember.
Something over a 5-year period.
And then people use their phone and you click on a QR code, pay for it on your phone. The locker opens. You can rent the life jacket or the kayak. You have 2 hours to use the kayak, and then we think Clinton is doing the same, so they could return the kayak or the life jacket at Clinton
Hmm.
if they needed to. So
Hmm.
that's I think that's gonna be a real good feature. And they have total liability. We're not responsible for anything.
That's a good.
It's a no lose. Yeah.
So totally funded through,
Blue Wabash River Blue Way.
I don't remember exactly. Did that require any utilities from us?
No, I don't think so. I don't I just don't recall that.
There's no electricity or?
I'll find out.
Surely.
I don't think there is, but
It's electronic.
Pardon?
It'll be on there.
Is it
They
solar
have to
based?
pay on their phone.
I couldn't recall.
Yeah.
Dustin says he thinks it's solar based.
Okay.
I think that's what.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll ask though, just to double check.
Better electric.
I've probably forgotten something, but that's all I know right now to report to you. And sheesh, there's just a lot of stuff going on, but it's all good stuff. So that's good. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Brad?
Thank you.
Thanks
What
for
else?
everything, though.
Well,
Yeah, it's about the ordinances on the vehicles and recreation RV campers. I had a heart attack about 3 years ago. I'm on disability. S10 is legal now. The other truck, we're trying to get that back on the road. Real quick like, and then the campers. Everybody thinks he's living in it. You guys think what you want to think. Basically a workshop, whatever. So I'm here on that.
you got any input on that? No?
So there was a meeting, that I wasn't in attendance, and that address was given to me in a note. And I don't know who brought it up or,
I did.
and so we sent a letter like we do everybody. And then I went down and talked to him about it. And that's when he said that nobody was living in it. And I told him that he needed to bring his concerns to the board. So that's why I'm here.
Were there vehicles too that were?
There was two vehicles there, and one of them he is correct.
The Ford Ranger.
One of them he does have proper plates on. Now, the other one is the one he says is going to be going in short term. And I did tell him with those, like, as long as we're seeing progress, we typically.
I just was trying to make the connect. He said something about an S10, so I didn't know.
And I had gotten complaints from the neighbor there about coons jumping in and out of the back of that one truck that's sitting there with stuff on it. And I didn't see it, but I had complaint. So that's why I brought it up.
Mainly up here, we usually have the skunks. Not really raccoons, but a lot of cats too.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Have a skunk. Yes, we do.
Yeah. I've seen at least 5 babies
I took pictures.
across the street.
There's one at Gina's this
I
morning.
come across the river bridge another morning. Had a couple minutes free.
So he is making progress. And,
The only thing that's undetermined is how you want to handle that camper situation.
So no one's living in that camper right now?
No.
That's the rule. So if there's no violation of the rule, then there's no problem.
Yeah.
That's, and that's the reason I brought him here, because that's a gray area to me, because I can't go in there.
It's not legal to have a camper, it's just illegal living law.
Yeah.
Or against the ordinances, so.
yeah.
I told him I wasn't trying to make his life difficult, but when somebody brings a concern to me, it's.
So, okay, as long as nobody lives there, I guess we're good to go. Thank you. Glenn?
Been working with Paul about my water line. And I've convinced myself that I'm on a dead end on the water line. And I've been told that that's not supposed to be that way. I would like for the town to be able to loop it back into the system some way. And the reason I bring this up, June 1st, I've been down there for 4 years. Okay, in that time period, I've changed the faucet in the kitchen sink, faucet in the bathroom sink, the fill valve on the stool, the valve and head on the shower. I have a electric on-demand hot water heater. I'm on the third one of them. And they're $350 a piece. Now, the first one, they warranty, but I have bought 2 of them.
So you're getting,
I'm getting sand. It's a little black sand, a little white. I showed Paul, I put some in the cup. Cause those aerators, I gotta clean them every week. They'll just stop running. But I can't change those valves anymore. I have to hire somebody to do it. And it would be nice to think that this new system will stop a lot of that, but still, it's like Paul said, there's going to be times in the transition from from the old system to the new that there's going to be lines that don't have pressure in them. Then you're going to have a buildup of stuff coming loose, falling down. And if I'm the only dead end in town, I'm going to get it all. But
you wasn't supposed to be the dead end, was it?
well,
But it don't go, they've never hooked up anything at Sullivan. Is that correct?
the sawmill's not on.
No.
That I talked to them. They do their own water.
Yeah.
Because they've got so many boilers. And if you know anything about boilers, that water's got to be right. They've got one guy. That's all he does is take care of the water for the boiler. The veneer plant was on, but they've been out of business for 3 or 4 years. So technically, I may not be the dead end, but I am the last user.
What I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't designed that way. That's just the way it worked out.
Well, I don't know how long-winded you want this to get, but when Vandevers lived where I'm at and Usselman's lived where Carol is, they bought those houses from Branson. He owned all that property. He wanted to sell the houses off. Well, you couldn't get FHA financing because when Dones was there, both houses and the dairy, everything was on one well.
Yeah.
So he had a guy come drill well for each house. I've been told those wells are over 400 feet deep. And they're just plain iron. I mean, when we moved in there, the sinks and everything was, you know what iron does to porcelain sinks. Anyhow, so Carol and Vandevers went together and had Gene McLean start down there Plank Road. He ran a 2-inch solid plastic line out to both houses. Well, and my meter was right there at the back door. Well, that meant they had to come down the driveway to read the meter. Well, they wanted to move the meter out to the road. So they did that, and they did away with my 2-inch line, went to 3/4-inch rolled black plastic from my shutoff valve out to the meter. So I don't have near the volume. Anything gets in that line is going to come through. Where before it didn't. And years ago, there was a house trailer behind the house. That plastic went out there as well. So, and I can't tell you exactly when that was done, but it was done when they were putting in the sewer system. Because the poor guy with the backhoe, he was down there 4 different times. He'd come down there, get started. The guy putting in the sewer system would get into something, he'd have to leave. But that's the way the system is now. From my meter to my house is just a 3/4-inch line. I have enough volume for me, but I would like for it to be a bigger line, but it's not. And I don't know what it would take to get from my meter back into the town system. How big a deal that would be, I don't know, but that, to me, that's about the only way you're gonna solve my problem.
So you didn't hook onto the line that went to the sawmill?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am on that line, but I'm the last user
Yeah,
on that
Yeah,
line.
okay,
Because the sawmill's not hooked up to it.
right.
But the veneer plant was, but they're shut down. Now, if they started back up, I might not have a problem again,
Yeah.
but who knows what's gonna happen there? I don't even know who owns that. I don't know, but I'd like first to be able to work something out.
Sure.
Now, as far as I know, Carol doesn't have a problem because they put her meter out by the road as well. I don't know what they did about a line, but see, her water, the water comes past hers to me.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't be getting the sediment. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What?
Well, I had Brad make sure they flushed down at the sawmill.
Right.
And you got good flow and color and all that.
Yeah.
But
Well, they came and looked about it once because they thought the complaint was cloudy water. I've never had cloudy water. It's just that little fine sand that, and you buy faucets today, you can't fix them. You can't take them apart. The only thing you can do is go buy a new one. So, good thing I'm on Menards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of a filter that could be put in before his house that would prevent that where, yes, that's a pain, but at least it would prevent the faucets, the toilets,
Flushing thing, like you said, Brad flushed it, and usually flushing. No,
Yeah.
I mean, you're on, there's water systems, there's a lot of dead ends.
Yeah.
Streetwise and everything else, that's not an issue, but usually those lines need to be flushed. If you had hydrants there, you could flush it with a hydrant.
Well,
But
he said there's a lot of
the line
dead ends. Back when Jim McFall and Leroy Waymire was here, they spent one whole summer doing away with all the dead ends.
I'm not talking about your.
Not here, but there's a lot of dead ends throughout the.
And we, and I come out of water and, we
I
flush our
I'm
mains.
not understanding what he's talking about then, I guess.
In use, there's a lot of dead ends everywhere.
Yes.
Not Montezuma.
Oh,
Whether
okay.
you go to Rock, there's a lot of dead ends in
Well, there shouldn't be.
Well, so,
Well,
sometimes.
Jim McFall told me that the reason they did that is because the law says a municipality can't sell water into a dead end. Now, I don't know.
No.
I'm not a lawyer.
No, it's.
Are you a lawyer?
There'd be a lot of towns in trouble.
You what now?
There'd be a lot of towns in trouble if that were the case. The situation is that you're using the water, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how does the sediment get in there if you're using it all the time?
Well, it comes from
Yeah.
comes from the town.
Have it.
I'm not on my own well. I'm on town
No, I
water.
understand.
If the neighbor
Okay.
doesn't have it, I mean, you got more people who know about water systems in this room than you do
Yeah.
at an engineers conference. So, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
It
if that's-
seems odd that it just be your house and
And it's
then
a
the one
plastic-
next to you if there's that much sand in it.
It's a plastic line,
Yeah.
so that you don't get any accretion in those typically.
How much water are you using a month typically, do you know?
Well, when they started this up here and they sent me a letter, said my bill was going to go from $37 to $65 a month. And I understand that. They got to pay for that. So I stopped up there and I asked them, I said, how do you figure how much you charge for so much water. And she told me it was like the first 1,000 gallons, so many dollars, second 2,000, so much. You add all that up, and if I go through my bills, my monthly usage, I'm paying $65 for about $14 and $15 worth of water. So it's just me there. So I don't use a whole lot of water.
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining, okay? I'd like to get where that sand don't come all to me.
Yeah. You put
Yeah,
it in the
it just-
house.
Yeah.
And probably, you have hard water, well, you guys have hard water.
Yeah.
So, and that's gonna calcium carbonate
So we
will
get
get
that
in there.
paid.
That's like on your appliances. That's what's causing that.
We have a water heater and a hot water valve, but it shouldn't be a thing. Oh,
But no, it's just a hot. And if you've got,
I don't want to be here.
Glenn, do you have a filter on there, a canister filter or anything inside
that'll
that?
take care of some of it.
Well, Scott bought me it's a tank that sits on the counter, and I take tap water, pour into it. It has a filter in it. I use that water for my dog, and I use that for what little coffee I make.
Like a,
Like a Brita
like a,
pitcher
like a
or.
pitcher and you
yeah.
pour it through and it drips.
Well, it does the same thing. Yeah, it's about a 2-gallon tank.
Okay.
There are filters you can put on inside the house. When the line comes in, yeah, they're filters, and you have to replace the filters every so often. To
Okay,
take some.
so who's gonna get under my house and change that filter?
yeah.
Are you going to? If you're not willing to do it, don't suggest it.
Well, the problem is, that line is your line, doesn't belong to the town.
Could it be the lateral that goes out to the meter?
Well, that's it, yeah.
You ever get spurts of air when you turn on?
No. No,
Well, Glenn, that water.
I have decent flow, you know.
Okay.
When I flush the toilet, it'll fill right back up within 20 seconds. So that's what, 1.5 gallons of water in 20 seconds. That's not a bad flow.
No.
It's just a little fine sand that eats up my valves.
Yeah.
That's my only problem. And I'm not sure filter like he's talking about is gonna take that sand out. It might not.
It
I don't-
could, but it's also a maintenance issue.
Mhm.
That's,
Yeah.
You have to reclaim it, yeah.
you can find that filter, it'll take anything.
I'm just not sure where the sand's coming from, because you don't have it throughout your
Well,
system.
the sand's coming out of this gravel that we all live on.
Yeah.
That it's coming out of the wells.
No,
But you said Carol's not having that problem.
that's-
I don't know. We've never talked about it.
Well, you
She's
guys.
never mentioned it,
you guys
but
have
she's
had
not the dead end. I am.
comments about-
I don't know.
Find out Carol has problems too.
Well, that would be,
That would-
yeah,
Logical.
that would be a good thing to ask.
Glenn, how's your water line come into the house? You said it's underneath, but it's gotta come in some way.
Okay, there's a hydrant right there behind the house on the west side. Okay,
Okay.
I got a ball valve there for my shut. And then that hydrant, and then the line goes from that hydrant under the house into the area under the bathroom, because that when they hauled that house in, it was completely plumbed.
Yeah.
So there was only one connection to make on water, one connection to make on sewer, one connection to make on electric. Jim and Danny McFall did all that plumbing under the house. But
Where it comes into the bathroom, it has to be an exposed fitting someplace where the water line could have a filter put on it.
it probably could.
And then you wouldn't have to go under the house to change it. And you
Well,
can-
that water line's under the house.
Yeah, but you're wanting to filter the water
Coming into the,
coming into the house. Filter it in the house where it first comes in.
But the only place you could put a filter would be out of my hydrant. If you put it under the house, then you gotta get under the house to change the filter. See? If you're gonna dig it up someplace and put in a filter, the hydrant would be the place to do it.
I know what you're saying, but that water line does not stay under your house for everything. You gotta have it coming into the house to get water. There's gotta be a main line coming in that branches off and goes somewhere.
Well, it's one connection under the bathroom. And then from there, it was already plumbed to the shower, to the hot water heater, to the kitchen sink, to the bathroom sink, to the stool. All that plumbing was already all done. You know, at the only way you could not get into the house to change a filter would be put a filter at every point of usage. And we don't want to do that.
No,
You get sand in every one of those?
Yes. I have changed in 4 years, I have changed every item in the house that puts out water,
Okay.
every one.
So you get water that sits in your toilet, in the tank, back in the top, like behind. You get water, sand that's settled out in that tank.
I've never noticed it, but when you flush the tank, if there's any sand in there, it's gonna flush into the septic system. I mean, that little petcock valve is right at the bottom of the tank.
I mean, it's up a little bit. No problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a plumber.
I just.
I don't know.
I would be a good place for it to settle out, I guess, is what I'm just.
Yeah, we're just trying to help you figure it out.
So, yeah, the minimum, he's paying minimum, right?
Yeah, everybody pays minimum. You use 0 to 3,330 gallons, that's a minimum charge.
And you don't use that much, half that.
Oh, no. No, I don't remember the number, but I went back through several water bills and of course it shows you usage on each month's bill and you figure that out but the numbers they gave me for the whatever, it comes to around $14-15 a month is what I'm actually using. But I understand the minimum. And I'm not complaining about that. We gotta have it.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So your water line comes in, you got that hydrant outside, and then it comes into your house.
Yes, underground, yeah.
So as a trial thing, why don't you go out once a day and flush that hydrant and see if it helps any. If it may, take a while, I don't know. But you could see if it corrected the problem. It's not gonna cost you any more because you're not using that much water anyway. So we go out there and blow it for 5 minutes every day and see if it does anything.
Well, yeah, I could do that. I could probably train my dog to do it. But to me, the simplest solution is to put me in a loop. Take a backhoe
I'm not
and
sure where you leave
a
it.
couple thousand feet of line.
Yeah, well, that's be easier for us to buy you water.
But
The expensive, I don't know where all the lines are, but to loop it would be expensive.
well, but if you loop it, you're gonna go right back into the main.
Right.
Yeah,
So every
go down
time,
to Plank Road.
so every time he opens his valve, he's gonna get the same thing.
No, well,
Yeah, you will. Because the pressure coming to you, when you open your valve, it's gonna drop the pressure.
but the people down on the line you loop it into, every time they open their valve, they're gonna move with some of that water as well. Right?
Yeah, but it's, you're gonna go back, somewhere or another, you're gonna go back to a fully pressured line. And it's not gonna flow.
Well, when people use water, it's flowing all the time.
Well, but you're gonna have there, but there's gonna be times in there that that you're the only one using the water. So that puts you at the end anyway. So instead of going around this way, it may come back this way. It may make it
Okay.
better, it may make it worse.
Let's make this short then. Are you willing to say the only thing you can do for me is nothing other than a filter? Is that your answer? You don't have an answer?
I would try flushing it myself and see what happens.
Okay,
And that's,
all right. It's become my problem now. It's totally my problem. Sorry. And I understand that. That's fine.
I mean, that would give you some idea and help us understand the system better. If you flush it and it clears up or reduces or whatever, but I don't see where a loop around, you're gonna come back into a pressure vein someplace and it's not gonna flow. You're gonna equalize that pressure and everything's gonna stop.
Okay.
And that's,
I feel that way too, but I don't know how to get to zero sand in the line.
Well, you're never gonna get to zero,
I know.
but you know, I've honestly, time I hire somebody, I spent $1,000 in 4 years. And if I'm there another 4 years, that's gonna be another $1,000. If I took that $1,000 and gave it to you guys and you added that on to your expense of looping that, would that help you any?
I don't think a loop will solve anything.
Okay, all right,
That's,
good enough.
I mean, engineering wise, when that pressure equalizes, everything's gonna stop. And it's gonna flow wherever the pressure drop is. Whoever opens flushes the toilet, open the water valve. It's gonna cause a pressure drop there and water's gonna flow that way.
Right, and the
Everybody,
sand's gonna go with it.
and everybody that shuts down, it's gonna go stalemate.
Okay, now,
Dustin, you got any input on this from the
end of
engineering side?
discussion.
I just wonder where the sand's coming from.
Right.
Because you guys have other dead ends in the system, other than that location also. You don't have many, but they would be getting sand also. One potential option, if the flushing does work, if that does work, they make automatic flushing hydrants that we can put down by the sawmill that are cycled on every 7 days, 10 days,
Yeah.
whatever the number is, to get that water to flush out. But it's hate to do that if the flushing doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah.
But I don't know, did you see any distilled water when you first, I mean, usually when you take that hydrant on.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna get rid of it because that's why you flush your fire hydrants every year. By law, you flush your fire hydrant.
Oh, we got the dead ends.
Yeah. And I know when they did the water project, there was 2 or 3 places where at the end of the line, you put a flushing hydrant.
Right, that's
So
exactly.
4 inch or 2 inch, whatever it is, but it's a small hydrant.
Yeah, you still have to be able
Yeah,
to flush
yeah.
that section.
There's one right down by the old program.
And the stuff Glenn brought up the house was a white.
Oh, calcium like stuff
Yeah.
with a
calcium.
little black sand. I got the cup out in the truck. If you want to see it.
You do have hard water.
Yeah,
You do get calcium carbonate.
yeah.
Could we wait until we see what this new plant does
Yeah.
and then
I-
come back to
I-
the meeting?
I'm to the point, you're not gonna do anything, so we'll just wait as long as you guys wanna wait.
Well, it's gonna reduce it. You know that.
I hope so. I hope so.
It will.
Yeah, the calcium, we're gonna
Calcium will be-
softer water when we're gonna.
Right.
Well, it's gonna go through several, the RO stream's gonna go through several filters. And then you're gonna blend that back in, so it's not gonna get rid of, but it will reduce it by,
Yep.
3 to 1.
Come back to a meeting after we put the new plant in and it's in service and then let's discuss again.
Okay,
And you can flush like Paul or like Jay was saying, I was thinking the same thing. You're under the minimum by 1,000 gallons
Yeah.
or 1,500 gallons. So you could run the spigot outside or you could run your sink
We've
for a
got a
while.
hydrant way to get that hydrant.
I don't think it means for eternity, just.
Just to
Yeah,
see,
see if it makes any.
just to see.
well,
All I'm gonna say is I think he just needs help, okay? I think that's what he's asking for. Will somebody please help him? Okay, that's what I think this is all boiling down to. Physically, he needs somebody to help him. Okay, that's what he's asking. Is somebody willing to go help him? That's all he's asking. My problem is, all I have to say, my name is Julie Wallace. I just want to know what is the noise ordinance in our town because the sheriff's department does not know it or recognize it. And I have a noisy neighbor and I would like to know the noise ordinance. What time does it, when is it in effect? Holidays, are they different? What time do people have to turn off blaring radios? That's all.
There's a general nuisance ordinance that.
And it's not only just, from what I've gathered, it's not only just music, it's vulgar, and she has young children, so it's an issue.
What's your address?
635 North Washington Street, AD Baumgartner's old house.
So I'm familiar then.
I think everybody is. I just want to know because I have called the sheriff. I was told that they don't know what time the noises have to stop. I was told that they cannot do anything with this resident unless the daughter is present. That was the very end of April. The man was arrested 2 days after I called the police. He was arrested, and to my knowledge, I mean, I haven't heard the radio, I've heard the vulgar music, he doesn't come to my property, I don't go to his property, but I do know another neighbor has protective orders in place against him. But if I ever have the problem again, I would like to know what I can do, who I can call. Like I said, I've called the sheriff.
My cell phone number's posted online. I can give you my business card. You can call me direct.
Okay, I did call you the night that it happened. It went to voicemail and I didn't leave one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm off, I don't always directly answer the phone, but if you leave me a message, I will.
Thank you.
But I'm gonna guess that with a couple pending court cases, you're probably gonna see a change in behavior.
Okay.
But
That would be fine. I mean,
yeah,
like I said,
I was down there one night prior to. So without saying too much, I guess, I had to call for somebody else to diffuse the situation because him and I were not good.
It doesn't sound like anybody in authority is good with him, but that's
So, to try to remedy the situation, I called for somebody else in because he was really escalated and said, hey, this is what we got. Somebody else come in and diffuse it and it went away. And then I was at a ball game and get a call that we had another problem, but it's been taken care of. So, and I have had no further complaints since. then.
right. Like I said, yeah, since April 28th, I haven't heard the music. I do know a neighbor and him have had issue. They scream at he screams at them, cusses them, and my kids hear it because he's very loud, and I've heard him call that lady every name in the book, and I'm like, let's go inside. We just have to go in the house. So that's all I wanted to know was like, is there a time limit?
I don't think there's anything specified time-wise other than fireworks.
There is no specific ordinance on noise. As John said, it's just if it gets to the point it becomes a problem, it's a nuisance.
We have like a general.
I thought there was a noise ordinance.
Yeah.
and
I know,
everything.
I'm searching for the
11
word
o'clock.
noise.
11 o'clock
a.m.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
11 p.m. I have a 3-year-old. Sorry.
But regardless, if you hear screaming
If
like
you're
that
hearing
and they're going
vulgar-
crazy, you
Yeah.
call him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Profanity.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not putting up with that. I know.
Right.
That's different than just a regular.
Yeah, that's
That it's borderline disorderly conduct. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what if it
that's
gets,
the more go-to on something.
that's much better than,
Yeah.
that's the much better option. Ordinance violations, writing somebody tickets, not always a very effective way to discipline somebody, but a disorderly conduct, they can be arrested, and that tends to get people's attention more. So,
That's it, thanks.
Sorry that you have to deal with it or had to deal with it. I hope we're done, so.
Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. John, there you go.
So on the utility side, you got a quote in your packet. $3,600 for seal master. Instead of including crack sealing in with the community crossings, I think that there's a substantial savings to let our guys do it. Brad's familiar with the process, so he's willing to take that on. Kathy and I discussed funding options. And
If you want
so
I was looking at this, John, just wasn't sure, just how much, is this just for the equipment or is this whatever goop?
So Brad acquired the quote. My understanding, it's one pallet of material, which I don't know how many feet or how they define.
I don't know how much it'll cover, but he says one pallet will last 1 week. So we could probably get all the new recently paved roads done. If we got some left over, then we can go after the roads that were paved before that.
But something, in my mind, something's better than nothing. We haven't done any crack sealing since I've been around.
No, I think, I mean,
Yeah.
I think I've always thought it was a good idea to do that because the idea is your roads are last longer.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad price.
Because the roads that have been paved recently, there's some big cracks in them.
Mm-hmm. So what was the funding recommendation?
Well, there's money in MVH for it, or you could use MVH restricted,
I was wondering if you could, you might,
I think. I know for paving.
they have all these
I'm not
complicated
sure about
rules
that.
for using that. You can use it for, I found this out the other day, you can use it for painting, like road striping, but you can't use it for fixing the potholes.
Isn't that crazy?
Right.
I don't know what cracks, I suspect you probably can because you can do that as part of your contract, for have somebody come in and do that. So, I mean, you have money on either one, either way.
Okay, all right.
Glenn, let these guys see that.
That's out of one aerator, one faucet.
Would there be an opening in some of the plumbing where it's coming in under the house?
Does that look like calcium carbonate?
Yeah.
You got a lot of the white calcium, but there's some little black sand specks. And it's the sand
Yeah.
that eats up the valves.
Yeah.
Soft now, take-
And you can't use it anymore.
We're here to help you, Glenn.
I know, I
I mean, I have
know.
that in my house.
We don't know.
but I don't have it soft.
For the size of this town, you guys have done wonders. We don't have electric problems. We have a new sewer system. We typically don't have water except for nitrates.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about that. And
It's just frustrating. It's frustrating.
It is.
You have to deal with it
Yeah.
every day. I get it.
well, here's my thought, and then I won't say anymore. Several years ago, two landowners went together, ran a line from Pike Road to those houses,
What's got-
paid for it themselves.
Bathroom?
Couldn't have been that much money. That's all we need to do is go back there. Can't be that much money, but I can't do it, and I'm not going to.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Take care of yourself.
I can't
That's
imagine
right.
the faucets and everything at Duncan every time. We had to replace some faucets from, where was it? I think it was a lightning crack or something at the house once, and it just,
Surge.
We had to, surge of some, and we had to replace everything. What an expense.
Well, when you get at the end of the line on a 3/4 inch line, every time you open the valve, you create your own surge. Because it's, and you're gonna get that flow for one reason, that's a pressure drop. So you open that valve, the pressure drops and the water surges up there, equalizes the pressure.
So what are you saying? That's when they put that 3/4 line, drop that down, they shouldn't have?
No, but you know, he's got a 1/2 inch line in his house probably. So there's a big majority of that, but what I'm saying is, every time he opens the valve, he gets a surge. You're not gonna get away from that. That's the way the hydraulics work.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
Yeah,
Sorry, John.
Back to the quote.
okay.
I just feel like it doesn't do us any good to pay if we're not gonna
Right.
try to,
Agree.
try to maintain it. So,
I
And
make
if we-
a motion, we go with Seal Master
I'll
for
second.
$3,600.
I assume that,
Aye.
I didn't get any quotes but I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be double, triple that if we ask somebody else to do it, so.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys will do it then?
Yeah, we used to do it at Rockville.
Oh, okay.
And you use this stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Outside of that, the new grinder pump's been installed at the community action, which was the quote you approved the last meeting. I had the new water tank. Tony told me today, he thought it was the middle of June. I think Dustin said the 29th now.
Yeah, that's what they figured out.
I don't know if you guys have come up with any, as far as the park, any recommendations for trees on that dock. I'm afraid that,
Oh, that's another whole.
Yeah.
Ball of wax, yeah,
those guys don't mind helping, but
I know, that's a full day down there. I mean, they were full trees hooked up. That dock had caught 'em. They were even underneath the stiff arms. Yeah, Jeremy suggested maybe have to bring it out of the water in the winter. But I mean, this is spring.
I'd say you're gonna have a problem when you have high water events.
It's not,
Springtime.
no, ain't different, a bridge. Haven't seen that bridge lately?
It's,
That's a mess.
it is a mess. And I mean, the dock is designed to come up and go down with the river level.
Yeah.
So that's not the issue.
So is the
But
trip.
I think in the spring, when the river comes up and goes down the first couple times, it's gonna take a while for the crash to come through. And
I agree.
first couple times, then it's just gonna be
But-
bad.
And we hadn't had the river up.
Yeah,
A year.
since we put it in.
And we're a little concerned about the stress that it puts on that north pillar that's already maybe a little compromised.
And that's why we need to get that riprap, especially right there on that north end.
You
So
know,
we can,
you sit there and watch that river.
Mm.
The 5th time it comes up, there's gonna be trash going down. I don't care how many times it comes up, it ain't gonna quit.
no, that's right.
So you
It's-
guys did cut some trees off there. They don't mind doing it, but if we had a solution that was,
Yeah.
The only thing Jeremy can think of, and, we, communication, he wanted to live feed to the camera, and I said, you have to talk to John. I can't do that, but he wants to, he keeps that close of an eye on that dock. And Clinton's building one just like it, but they're gonna roll theirs out in the fall and back in the spring. So we may have to do something like that. I don't know, just to protect it. But he didn't feel like that in the initial installation that, that we would be required to do that because the bank is so steep, but who knew? You can't fool Mother Nature.
No.
Unfortunately. But I do know that there's a lot of people that enjoy that dock. Paul was down there one day and there was an older lady sitting on the dock and they had been to Purdue to a graduation and they had spent the night at Turkey Run Inn, heard about the Tasty Freeze, came and got a giant tenderloin at the Tasty Trees. And they told them to go to Rega Park and sit down there and eat the tenderloin And then the lady saw the dog and she was just enjoying that dog. They were from St. Louis. So
Nice.
there's people from all over the nation coming to enjoy what we're doing down there. So
Nice.
it's a good thing. And thank you guys.
Fire hydrants have been flushed. I gave Paul the flow rates for the fire department. Mosquito spraying began last night.
I
Yes,
heard it.
thank you.
Thank you.
I seen him. I was happy.
The guys got 6 foundations poured in the cemetery. That's what we had for the spring.
Nice.
Nice.
The new flags have been hung up along,
Noticed today.
Mhm.
and
Yep.
Diana covered the security cameras at the dock are now operational. A couple things from the old business side. Jay had called me earlier this week about IMPA. We do need to probably make some sort of decision. My advice is not tonight. I think we need some more. It's a big decision.
Mhm.
And I want to see, I was talking to Kathy and I remember after Jay kind of refreshed my memory and then I went back and looked at numbers. And it's all in that email. If you haven't saw it yet, it's out there. But I think we need to plug those numbers into the rate study and see what the real impact is on our customer. Like versus like what we're doing now versus if we do this.
Great. Mhm.
But I do think we need to keep it like in the front of our head. We don't need to lose the idea because we definitely need to do something.
Yeah.
Whether it's go back to the table with REMC or decide to go with IMPA. I'm not, like, my hang up is spelled out in the email, the 2.5 hour response time. I'm not crazy about. They don't really want to commit to anything more than that, but then REMC can be here in 20 minutes, but if they've got a storm, we've got a storm a lot of times.
It might be 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be 2.5 days, so.
But we still got the IMEA backup thing is still an agreement, right, Kathy?
Yeah.
The IMEA backup.
Mutual aid.
Yeah, mutual aid. I couldn't think of it. But that's expensive, but it's necessary too.
So I talked to the guy from I'm terrible with names because I talk to so many people, but the guy that sent the email for the rate study.
Jared Hall.
Is that right?
Brandon.
Yeah,
Been
right.
talking.
Okay.
Brandon's the one who's been taking care of it.
Yeah, he's done the dollar thing. Jared's kind of
So
manager.
I was forwarding an email, Kathy. I replied to him and said, hey, the board meets tonight. Like if they're good with it, I'll send you the numbers that I got. You can use those as a kind of a compare and contrast.
I think we need to do. I mean,
I agree. I mean, I wasn't at your last month's meeting, but I was here when IMPA came in and systems got a lot of needs and, you know, you guys have always, you do a great job of keeping up with the water and sewer system, but the electric is old and you've done some, I'm not saying you haven't done anything, but and you do have, I don't know, I've seen your email, John, but my assumption is that we come up with a kind of a need or want list or need list of here's what we need, and we would get a contract or proposal from IMPA or whoever to do that and what it's gonna cost us over so many years.
Well, truly, like,
Factor that in.
you know, I think part of our job is
I missed last month. I was here when IMPA came out.
none of us are electrical engineers. So there's probably improvements that could be made to the system that we know nothing about or would never know. But that's the benefit to, I mean, I'm sure any company out there would say, yeah, we'll help you for an additional fee. I mean, granted, the deal with REMC is pretty sweet because outside of the administrative fee, we only get billed for when we call them. So we have saved some money over the years, but that being said, we're not making any upgrades to infrastructure.
Yeah, when REMC first come in, they made several changes and improvements. But then when they had their exit of employees, it kind of, that meant it was just get by.
Yeah. And that's a good enough bunch that I think even if we decide to go a different route, that we may be able to keep them as like an emergency, like super emergency, we need you in 20 minutes kind of.
Yeah, there's not very many people in Chad Jenkins' position to be over that night. That one big outage we had and do what he did.
Good guy.
Yeah, he is.
Super helpful. And even when I sat down with them to talk about the contract, they're like, we're just doing this to help you guys out. Like,
Right.
we're not going to be upset if you say we don't want to do this. So I don't think there's going to be any hard feelings, and we're going to.
Well, one of the things that John and I talked about was we still need to proceed with Briar getting in alignment. But he can't do it all by himself.
No.
I mean, if he's up in that bucket, he needs a line or a ground man, and there's got to be other people trained. And the rate of that progress on that, or the length of the program, that's never going to be an overnight success. Anyway, you look at it. But
He does leave June 1st.
yeah, that's John told me, which is a good thing. I hope it. Well, I'm sure he'll do good at it. There's no doubt about that, but hope he sticks around when he gets through.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest concern, my biggest concern.
The only other thing I have on my utilities list is yard of the month for June.
I haven't even looked.
I've got one for North, the Atkinson House on Washington Street, or I'm sorry, on Jefferson Street.
I saw that.
Have they had
Is
that before?
Cody Atkinson?
The blue.
Grace Keller's house?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it?
Is that north in Jefferson?
yes.
Yes.
Cause I went by there the other evening, I noticed that they've got lots of flowers.
Flowers and just looks really nice. I don't know the south end.
I get them boys mixed up.
I know.
Cody.
Cody.
Cody, yeah. Cody and Lindsay.
And maybe they
Yeah.
had it last year.
If I heard her name, I knew I would know his, but I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
Anybody know?
Has
what
anybody
it's
seen Matt and Ashley, Jeff?
Oh, Bruce.
She's got a lot of flowers, decorations. Ashley
Sounds good.
Monroe and.
Yeah, that sounds good
Sounds
to me.
Keep it in your neighborhood.
I started driving the other day making a list, or gonna make a list. And ended up making a list of people John needs to talk to about tall grass and
Well, that's not a
junk
fun
cars.
list.
And he helped someone mow one, so
Yeah.
he did.
So then rolling over to the police side, it's been pretty okay lately. So, 36 calls for service, 1 felony arrest, 1 misdemeanor arrest, 3 citations, 5 warnings. Just kind of want to put a general reminder out to the citizens. This is something that we fought for years, but if you see something out of the ordinary, please report it. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many instances that come up and somebody will say, well, 3 weeks ago I saw this, but it never gets reported.
Too late.
And, we repeatedly get incidents that are reported on the town Facebook page that's never reported to the police. And all that does is create animosity between neighbors.
Yeah.
And
And you're not doing nothing.
we deal with, because those issues tend to not go away and they just keep carrying over in the building and it gets vindictive, and then it would just be simpler to just make a phone call and say, hey, I got a problem. And I have went out, I don't monitor it, but if somebody puts something on there that I happen to catch, I will go say, hey, you didn't go about this the right way, but I'm here to help. Like, just a little education piece there. Outside of that, it's business as usual. I appreciate all the support, so.
Thank you, John.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Fire department. 48 runs up until May 1st, and we've had 6 in May. The E5, engine 5 HME pumper, Mike Brown has sent the bill to HME to see if they're awarded. We had a check engine light come up on that truck. $4,000 some later, we got it fixed. So that's kind of scary. So I think Kathy's got the bill.
Yeah, it was emailed to me, and then in the meantime, somebody from the fire department emailed back and said that executive board of the fire department decided you were gonna pay for it, for the officers. And then I had asked, that should be under warranty, so then he emailed back and said he was turning it in to see if it was.
I talked to him this
Try to get
morning.
under warranty, yeah.
He acted like it was gonna be under.
It should be.
Mike.
It's 2 years old,
Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt.
3 years old.
Okay. And the other thing, we got an application from Heston Maloney. Heston was born in 94. He's got CDL, A-class CDL license, works at Scott Pet. Been there 5.5 years, not on it, presently on a department. He was on Montezuma's in 2014 and Hillsdale's at the same time. Got first responder training in 14 and firefighter 1 in 14 and his CDLA. And he's applied to come back on the fire department, so,
He's a hard worker in that yard.
yeah.
He's graduated college just recently.
He graduated, he's changed his
cleaned up.
life.
Yeah, he's definitely
He had to.
changed a lot.
He had to.
So,
I've had nothing but positive interactions with him in the last.
Good.
yeah.
Let's take it with, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then another thing I had is cosmetics in this building. Jay and I walked it the other day on that east wall. We're beating it up again with chair racks and chairs and organs and everything that's sitting there. And
Do those organs need to stay there?
I've wondered
Because
the same thing.
a lot of people complain when they come in, they have children here, they can't keep the children off of them.
Time to sell them.
And
Giveaway.
dusting
Yeah.
something that's not being used.
Agree.
We still
No one
got
uses.
organs setting up in Larry's house, so we can't even give away.
I was gonna say, I don't think, so.
Yeah.
I wonder if Reverend Keith would want those.
Who?
Reverend Keith.
We might, I don't know. Anyway. He-
My best guess.
we might ask him. Then one thing I've had a thought on my mind is could we make a storage area, go out this door right back here and go down to where the outside door is at the kitchen, square that little corner off and store the darn tables and chairs in there instead of dragging them all around this room. Don't heat it, but put lights in there. Leave these doors here locked and put a set of locking doors on the outside.
Yeah.
Kathy's right, and I,
Might be an option.
Just take minutes of the meeting.
yeah, just a suggestion. I don't know. And that would help
Door's an extra
straighten
door
up the
there.
building because you walk through
Have to have
here.
an exit.
It was
Do you-
painted
that's what I
when,
wondered, do you have to have a back exit available though?
Mhm.
second one over there.
Yeah.
It was painted when Travis was here that winter. I don't, how many years has that been?
Mm,
A while.
It's needing it again.
Yeah.
It needs the drywall fixed and
Well, we don't want it to fall down around us.
that's where I'm
Nope,
at.
and everybody
Yeah.
says it's a nice building, so we definitely need to keep
Definitely.
maintain.
Yeah. And we drag the chair racks and table racks get drug around that corner over
Yeah.
here and beats it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I thought be nice to have a big screen TV on that east wall for gatherings in here and water meetings or whatever, so they didn't have to look at a projector screen. Like 100-inch.
One big enough, good visibility back to at least this
Yeah.
petition. But
Take
that,
the projector down? How do you use that?
It gets used now,
Oh,
but
okay.
it wouldn't have to. You could plug right into the TV, I think, could you, John?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because if it ever goes out, that's a dinosaur.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Just spend a little money.
Well, the only thing I got was, you wasn't here last meeting, Scott, but Brad was down Spring Library and our dear friend just got nasty as hell with him. Mhm. And she won't respond to any of our wishes or stuff. He's in there spraying for bugs, doing what he's supposed to do, and I wasn't there, but.
He let a contractor in. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Well,
Any mark going in there.
okay.
I was unlocking the door and you could hear her screaming in there.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna come in and kill her or something. And I walked in there and she just let me have it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't know what.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Okay. Counting.
She got the basketball court for me. He got the fire department stuff I was requested to put, so, and we did the yards, so I'm good.
Skunks.
Skunks.
There is no skunk patrol.
I took a picture of I took a picture. It was in Barb's going to Bridget the other day and I was like, don't you go in my garage when I open my garage door. I don't have
They're
anything.
friendly.
Uh-huh. They are friendly.
You guys want to sign the card? Yes.
Kathy?
I don't have anything.
Scott?
More for Diana. I don't know when the park board members, did you talk to Cindy about RVs and at the park?
There aren't supposed to be RVs. Oh, you mean I was thinking
campers.
ATVs, the campers. I have not.
Well,
Supposed to read this.
I talked to her.
Sign it or,
Sign it.
yeah.
I can't remember, it's been so long, how much we charge and that sort of thing, but there is gonna be a really high demand
Really?
because,
Oh,
Oh,
a
dude.
Duke.
yes, it's created a lot of hours of work for me to try and figure out stuff because everybody who's got enough room for 2 campers to park is trying to rent out their property to these construction workers who are going to be coming into the Duke plant. And I was talking to Cindy and said, you guys actually have a really nice site with all this stuff. And you might be able to get with one of I said something to her about going up, having some, I was up there for the groundbreaking and all that. And
I always ask about it, but somebody who's kind of running the job.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if it'd be allowed.
Well, it'd be a lot, I mean,
We've got reservations. for
Yeah, you had-
Camping reservations.
you got some issues there. You might not,
Festival.
Well, we always have hill climb.
but if you said, you might be able to get some good money for renting those and say, you do a contract and here's the deal, you gotta be gone this and this, and but we can at
We
least,
might have fun with that.
and
Yeah.
That's true.
you could probably charge a lot more than what you're charging now,
Okay,
I think, because of the facilities that you have, and it's a good location
right.
because it's not very far, and
I think the camping fees were set by the town, not by the park board.
I think you're right. I
Yeah.
didn't look.
25 a night for electric, 15 for primitive,
Yeah, so
and $5 for the dumping station.
If you've looked at anywhere
You're
else,
not
you probably ought to
camping.
look.
I think
So,
they need-
free-
yeah, they probably need increased anyway, but I just was thinking, it'd be unusual, but there's gonna be 700 workers
Wow.
up there, construction, and then there's also gonna be a solar project starting in March, over by St. Bernice. So they're gonna have workers coming in too, and
We were at Cayuga at a softball game the other night and there were campers.
yeah, they got them
all over
everywhere.
the fairgrounds.
We were there.
Yeah,
That's the first time I've been in that area, but I was like,
It's a nice park.
It is a nice park.
Yeah, it is a nice
Huge
park.
park.
Okay, so we need, the board needs to consider them.
I mean, I didn't know about, I knew covered bridge might be an issue, but,
We may have to honor, if somebody's already made
Sure, I think we
reservations, we
should.
have to honor what they paid or reserved it for.
Probably should.
Ready, but yeah, that's, I got an email or a text just in the last day or two about somebody wanting to, a vendor wanting to rent a camper space down there. And I told them to get a hold of Penny because she was the one that took care of the covered bridge camping, and I think she told them, you better get it made pretty quick. So, yeah. Okay, we will discuss that at our June meeting. We didn't meet in May.
I just talked to Cindy last week about it but I I was talking to a lot of these people are trying to set stuff up and they don't have like I said, they don't have as nice a facility as you do, I don't think. And that's some, but and if I was going to camp, I'd rather camp here than out in the middle of nowhere where, I mean, I could get to the Dollar General and go to the restaurants and,
Another 6 minutes.
and you have a dump station.
All that riverfront.
Yeah,
That big.
that is a big win, yes.
I know. About that.
Okay, that's good to know, Scott. Thank you.
I don't remember what month it was. It's gonna be cold. That Dollar General wants to be mild.
No, I
I
just,
just stand up my hips.
I just,
Ours?
Good for you.
Haven't heard that.
I sympathize.
Well, if I sit very long.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not mad.
dramatic.
I know it's.
No.
I make a motion.
Have we
Oh,
adjourned?
did I-
you can make a motion.
Can I bring up one
No.
more thing? I got an email from the lady this Kim Eaton that's taking care of the kiosk. And she said, she was gonna ask about the location for the locker at the park. And she said, we're planning for a 4 kayak locker there in Montezuma. If you can complete the form, then let me know. I already did that. She said another issue that could be a hurdle is the ownership of the current ramps. Does Montezuma own both ramps and the DNR services the newer one? Or is the newer ramp owned by the Indiana DNR? We have to get additional permits if one of the ramps is owned by the state. So we can get that clarified. So is it one owned by the DNR?
Yes,
So it's owned by the DNR?
the new one is, yes.
That's what I
Control
know.
of it.
So should I tell her the DNR is the owner? Or is it the town?
I'm sure that legally they're the owners. They're putting state money into
That's
it.
what I think.
It's a path into the waterway, so they have jurisdiction over it.
Okay, so I should tell her, yes.
So I would contact.
The ramps are, I made with the answer, the ramp, that Montezuma paid for one of them, DNR paid for the other one, but they're under the control of DNR when they're located, once they're located.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I don't know. That's a fair question, but it's not one that lends itself to a simple answer sometimes.
Okay.
You know?
So I'll tell her that DNR has control over the newer ramp.
Yeah, and they may need to get, it wouldn't shock me if they do need to get, I don't know what kind of permit she's talking about. I know who Kim is, but
Okay,
I'm assuming there's probably some sort of permit to do anything, to put anything in the river.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they probably need to talk to the DNR and just whatever.
Other than when we went to put the boat dock in, we asked about that. The guy met us down
Yeah,
there
he
and
said-
said, it's yours. You do whatever you want.
All right, I don't understand.
I don't
about
either.
river, because seems like the opposite,
Sometimes it's a big.
like the
deal
opposite in
and-
Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't to that guy, was it?
No, what, it was just like, no, do whatever you want to.
Was that the day before he retired?
Maybe. Might be. Okay, thanks. I'm done. Thanks.
Sorry about that.
Make the motion.
I make a motion. She's already-
Meeting adjourned.
Sit down.
I'm sure.
Kathy, gone.